Hey, it's the Midnight Raven, and welcome to season 2 of the It's Not All Doom and Gloom podcast with the Midnight Raven. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I am the Midnight Raven. Welcome to my channel where we go through everything in this podcast to do with mental health, mental well-being, and we go through a journey of self-discovery. If you haven't already seen season 1, go check out season 1. This is season 2 for 2025. Hopefully you've had a good year so far. So in each episode, we do 5 journal prompts from this little journal. It's 365 self-discovery journal prompts. We do 5 every time, and the podcast lasts around 20 minutes so that we don't overexert ourselves, overthink, or overwork. Because the best thing you can do is to take mental health in tiny bites and do it in bit by bit. So we have the red pen, which is where we tick off ones that we have done, and we keep a tally. In total, we have already done 69 of them, so today we're going to do another 5. I welcome you to share your opinions, your thoughts, your feelings on all of these questions and interact, because it makes it easier to have advice and to share your opinions with everybody else. So without any further ado, welcome to the It's Not All Doom and Gloom podcast. Let's get into question 1 of the day. Question 1, what career milestones do you want to achieve in the next 3 years? So this week, we are doing more like a work-based mental health. So looking at my career, obviously last May, I lost my job because the company I was working for, the place that I was working for, went out of business, the store I worked at. So I lost my job in May of last year. I had already technically lost my job when I took a mental health break earlier in that year. So from May till now, I haven't really been working. I have been doing YouTube, obviously. May not call it as a job, but I do receive payment from it. I also do selling on Vinted as a reseller, where I buy in bulk, buy from charity shops, sell my own stuff, sell my sister's stuff, my friend's stuff to make a profit. Car booting is coming up, which I also do. It's like a side hobby. So my career itself, I don't necessarily have a career at the minute. I'm kind of in limbo. What I would love to do would be to go full-time self-employed as a reseller would be my dream, where I could work from home and fit my job around my life, which currently in the dating scheme is working in the evening, having the mornings free, and then having maybe each weekend off or every other weekend off, something like that, so that I get a good amount of work time, family time, and if you want to call it dating time. Split my life in 3. So going back to work in a 9 to 5 job, I hate the idea of it. I don't really like working with people anymore. Bad experiences, being bullied at work. I don't really like working with people. I don't really trust people anymore when it comes to working in a job. And I would rather work self-employed, work from home, work my own hours if possible. I know it sounds like a pipe dream, but it is possible to be self-employed. It is possible to work from home. So hopefully that's the kind of thing that I could do. So my career milestones, I would love to be self-employed by the end of the next 3 years. I would love to be self-employed by the end of the year. If I could combine YouTube, selling on Vinted, doing car boots, and make it a financial business and make money from it, then I would do. It's one of my passions, reselling, upselling, saving the planet while making a profit. So it's something to think about. Jobs nowadays have flexibility. You don't have to work a 9 to 5. You don't have to work 7 days a week. You can find a niche that you like and go with it now. I know times are a bit hard financially and you may not feel that, but I would rather do a job that I am happy in and have less money than work in a job and have more money and be miserable. So question 2, what did you dream of becoming when you were a kid? So my dream as a child was actually to be a wedding planner or a party planner. I loved the idea of giving somebody a special day. Now, me personally, I grew up not having many parties until I had kids myself, and then I was throwing my son's birthdays. I threw myself a 30th birthday party, and I do feel I missed out on my childhood of having birthday parties. My parents didn't really do birthday parties, if I'm really honest. Wasn't really a thing that we did. But I always liked the idea of a wedding planner, giving someone that special day, making them feel special, and party planning as well. You know, the bigger the better. Um, that was always one of my dreams, was a wedding planner, party planner. I didn't really have many other aspirations when it came to a child as a job. I was pretty set on what I wanted to do. Um, I just wanted to be self-employed. Again, the whole self-employment thing from the previous thing. I didn't really like people. I didn't really want to be in like a 9 to 5 in a bean can kind of job where you're just around people constantly. I found that the idea of a wedding planner was where you worked with a small group of people in a very intimate location, a very intimate setting, and it was more special, and it meant something because you gave these people their big day, and you basically get more thanks for it than you would do in a 9 to 5 job. It was about giving that special day, and then you would receive praise for it. It's a job well done. You can feel proud of what you did. You just don't get that in a 9 to 5 job. 9 to 5 job is clock in, do your job, clock out. No one ever thanks you for it. No one ever appreciates you. No one really gives a crap about you. You're just a part of the machine to keep it functioning. Wedding planner, party planner, you created a special day for somebody. You created memories. It meant more to me. But everybody is different. Everybody has their ideal job, their ideal career. Mine is with a lot less people. Like I said in the previous question, I would rather be self-employed, work for a smaller based situation. Less people, less trouble, less drama. I know a wedding planner can be stressful. I wasn't really mindful of stuff like that. Things that can go wrong, mistakes, cancellations. Wedding planning isn't exactly the less stressfulest job in the world, but it was a job I had a passion for. And the same with party planning and stuff like that. Giving somebody a special day was special for me. So, okay, let me know your ideal job and let me know your milestones as well. Question number 3. Are you satisfied with your work-life balance at the moment? So, if we go back to my previous job before I became redundant due to the company's shop going out of business, my work-life balance back then, I didn't have one. I worked. That was it. I worked 5-6 days a week, 5-6 days in a row, sometimes at 2 different stores. I was constantly working. I was leaving my house at 7:30 in the morning, and I was getting back in the evening between the hours of 6 and sometimes 7. It was a long day. It was a long day from like sometimes 7:30 till 7 at night, or 7:30 till 6, depending on if I opened and closed the store. It was tiring. The traveling to and from work is 40 minutes for me, or 30 on a good day. So it was tiring going to work, then doing a full 10-hour shift, sometimes between 8 and 10 hours, because I had to take the traveling into consideration. And then by the time I got home, it was either dark. During the winter times, I was going to work in the dark, coming home in the dark. So I wasn't satisfied with my work balance. All I did was work. I was known as the person that would just work all hours, any day, just to make money, and I made myself miserable. I overworked myself, and then I made myself sick. I had a mental health breakdown, not once but twice, due to the pressure from work, the consistency to having to work. While I was being bullied at work as well, that took a toll on it, because not only was I stressed from work, I was stressed from bullying, and my work-life balance just went out the window. I was just working at that time as a robot. I was miserable when I went to work. I was miserable before work. I was miserable when I came home. After a while, it just didn't suit me. And when I had a mental health breakdown at Christmas a year ago, things were pretty bad. And that broke me. And if anything, I am thankful I didn't go back to work. I have been off a year now. Touch wood. Things are improving. Things are getting better day by day. But with everything, you take it with a pinch of salt. You have to work through things. And obviously the place closed now. The work still exists, but the store I worked in Durham does not. And the work balance I have now, I don't technically work. I do a bit of YouTube now and then. I do a bit of vintage reselling. My work balance now is so much better. I pick up and do stuff when I want with like YouTube and vintage and car booting and stuff like that makes money. And I'm more flexible. I'm more happy. I don't feel so claustrophobic. I don't feel so overwhelmed. I don't feel overworked. I feel content. I feel happy. And if I could just do this whole, working for myself thing forever, I would do. I think it would be the best mental health that I could achieve, would be doing what I'm doing right now. And it would give me the best work balance that I would be happy with. So, 2 more to go. Question: how can you set a healthy boundary in your life? I think the most important thing when it comes to work is knowing that work isn't just everything. Now, hear me out. It says, how can you set a healthy boundary? So a healthy boundary would be where I came to be working 5, 6, 7 days in a row and realizing that that's all I was. I was a workhorse and I had no life. I didn't go out. I didn't see my friends. I barely saw my family. I stopped going out and doing stuff because I was just constantly picking up extra shifts. I didn't see my family because I was picking up extra shifts. And I just kind of ostracized myself from my entire family, my friends, and just everyone. And that is not healthy. Now, I get in this economy, things are tough and things are hard. But mental health is also important. Having money is fine. I'm not asking you to suddenly just cut your hours. But managing a home life and a work life and balancing them is going to be much more long-term effective for your mental health, your well-being, your family. And I know your financial problems at the minute are difficult. I know everybody is picking up shifts, working overtime because they have to afford to. But that can only go on for so long before what you get is called burnout. So burnout is what I got, where I had worked and worked and worked and worked and done all the hours that was available, all the overtime, and I finally snapped. And I'm like, look, I can only work so much. I'm exhausted. I'm drained. You need to back off. I don't want any more shifts. I don't want any more overtime. And you reach a point where you just work yourself into the ground. And as much as you need the money, your family would much more appreciate the fact that you are happy and healthy than anything else. As much as money is important and you need it to live, you also need to have a happy family. You need to be happy in yourself. You need to be healthy. And that doesn't mean just having a healthy body and eating well. It's mentally, spiritually. You have to be careful, because once you go down that slippery slope, like I did with your mental health, it's like trying to climb up a cliff. it's really, really not good, because that cliff, as you climb up, it crumbles and you fall further and further down, and it takes a lot to pull yourself back up. And it can take years and years and years of counseling and talking, but you have to come to a point and realize that first. So balancing your life, your work, there's a healthy boundary, but only you will know your own healthy boundary. I didn't think I had one. I thought I could work and get all the money and everything would be fine, and I broke. And anybody has the capacity to break. It's not just, women or elderly people, man, woman, whichever sex you are, color, race, it doesn't matter. Everybody has a breaking point. And sometimes we just need a break. So that's that question done. Let me know your healthy boundary that you set in your life. Mine is to make sure that I am happy and healthy. And if we are a little short each month, then so be it. But I would rather be a little short when it comes to money, but have my mental health, my physical health, all in balance. Now, the last question for today is, what does your healthiest self look like? I would say my healthiest self is probably right now. Right now, I have been the happiest I have been for a while, and that is for many reasons. First one would be, my happiest self looks like the fact that I don't have counseling anymore. I did a year's worth of counseling. I find that as much as counseling does help you, you cannot rely on counseling forever, and there has to come a time where you try and cope on your own. And after a year of counseling, just before Christmas, we stopped counseling. And I haven't had a counsellor for the last 3 months. And I have had days where I've needed a counsellor. Don't get me wrong. I have had those days where I am crawling up the wall to talk to somebody, or I am having a low day, as I call them. But my healthy self mentally, I actually think I've got better. I think I'm improving. I don't think I'm fixed. I don't think Rome was built in a day either. I think there's little stepping stones towards a better, healthier me mentally. My healthiest self. Physically, I would say I've got quite a lot to work on. I want to go back to the gym when I can afford to. Can't financially do it at the minute. So my physical health has dipped a bit. I'm at home more. I'm doing less than I was when I was working. My diet is a bit iffy, and that is due to how expensive it is to eat in the UK right now. And I would love to go back to the gym, but I cannot afford a gym membership. As much as I love the gym, there are things you could do at home. You could do yoga, you could go for a walk, things that don't entail costing money. So as much as I would like to say that my physical health is being stunted a bit, there are things I can still do. So my mental health isn't too bad. My physical health could do with improving. My love life has been doing really well. I am dating somebody, and that has been going for about 7 weeks. Things are going well. We've been out. We've had movie nights. Things are progressing at a good rate. And I think that it's positive for me to have somebody in my life. I think I spent quite a few years. I spent about 4 of them being single. And it was the first time I'd been single in 13 years. So those 4 years, as much as I enjoyed being single, having a bit of free time, having a bit of me time, concentrating on myself, I did miss having somebody in my life. Cuddles in bed, movie nights, walks along the beach, having that somebody to talk to, share your day with. It can take a weight off you sometimes to have that significant other in your life and share moments and experiences together. So my healthy self, I think, would be right now. Mentally, I'm improving. Physically, 50-50. And my happiness, now that I have found someone to share my life with, is priceless. Things have been getting better. I feel happier. I feel content. I just feel better. And I'm hoping that to you guys, I look better. But that was all the questions for today. Let me know what your healthiest self looks like too. So let's run through the questions that we had today. We started off with, what career milestone do you want to achieve in the next 3 years? Then we did, what did you dream of becoming when you was a child? I bet some of you have got some really interesting careers. Are you satisfied with your work-life balance? I would say I'm 50-50. How can you set healthy boundaries in your life? This is making sure that you have a work and home life balance. And the last question was, what does your healthiest self look like? Personally, I would say right now. But if you want to like and subscribe and give us a big thumbs up, this is the It's Not All Doom and Gloom podcast. Today we have been working on a work-life balance and goals for the future when it comes to working. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be amazing. And if you want to help the podcast out, because it does take time and energy to do this, you can donate to my PayPal, Super Chat, or Super Thanks, or become a member. This is the It's Not All Doom and Gloom podcast series 2, and I will see you very soon for another episode. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.